Good afternoon and welcome to WIT Arena here in Waterford. We're just underway in the first of the Women's Super League playoff semi-finals. As Rebecca Nagel takes the first shot of the game, it's Ambassador UCC Glanmire versus Pyrobel Killester. I'm joined for this one by former Glanmire coach and current Neptune head coach Paul Keller. Paul, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Two, as we get a steal here from Leah Fetchko. Good defense on Rockall, but Rockall called for a foul, and the first basket of the day goes to Pyrobel Killester. And Paul, two big names of Irish basketball in the women's game. What kind of game can we expect in this one?
Well, I think you're going to have two contrasting styles, really, in terms of with Killester. They'll probably run a lot of 5-out, and even with the personnel they have on the floor right now, they'll space the floor, they'll hit the long corners, they'll space the wings, they look for driving lanes, they cut a lot. And then with Glanmire, they'll try go to the tried and trusted, which is what Mark has always done. They'll run some secondary break, they'll get into their sets, they might ball screen quite a bit. But two very contrasting styles, and it could be a very good game here.
Casey Grace, nice fake and drive to the basket and good finish. So it's 2-all early.
And you see early, Matt, Anya McKenna putting a little bit of pressure on Rebecca Naylor early, just to try and run maybe some of the stuff off the clock. And there you see two cuts already from the top of the key to get into their 5-out.
Cross-court pass by Byrne into the hands of Nagel.
And another cut by Killester, causing Glanmire to overextend and get a deflection out of bounds.
So 3 seconds on the shot clock. Nagel taking it out of bounds. Fetchko, one bounce shot, doesn't go, rebound Rockall, and she'll look to push the pace up to Alford. Of course, Chantal Alford, the National Cup final MVP, and a misplaced pass as McKenna claims it came off the foot of Nagel, but it didn't. Straight out of bounds, Killester ball.
That's 2 turnovers now from Glanmire early doors, that they've just got the angles of their passes wrong, and they need to do a better job of executing earlier in the game now than what they have been.
Paul, the fact that these two played just a couple of weeks ago, as Mimi Clark misses that one and off to the races, McKenna. It's a clear path to the basket, but good defense from Rebecca Nagel, gets handed the ball and it ends up with the jump ball. The fact that Glanmire, after finishing the season first place 14-2, won that game quite easy. Who's that going to favour in a game when they match up again just a couple of weeks later?
I was just thinking about that before the game, and I don't think that particular game matters. I think it's more the psychology of Glanmire having it over them in the last number of years more than anything else. So I think, with Killester, they've got to overcome that psychology, which they seem to be doing quite early. They've started off quite well, Killester, other than that turnover, put the jinx on them. But that's the stuff they got to cut out if they're going to win this basketball match.
Great full court pressure from Dwyer, gets a steal and finishes. It's 4-2 to UCC Glanmire, and again pressure, but this time Dwyer overexerts himself and it's a foul.
It's an interesting tactic by Mark Scanlon right here, where he's actually full court pressing Rebecca Nagel only right now with Anya McKenna, and that's just allowing a little bit more momentum for the other players to build up on the 4v4. So it'll be interesting to see what the adaptations are early. And yep, Killester done some nice stuff right there early again. Another baseline drive by Emma Sherwood, and a nice little dump to the front of the rim for Aveen.
So we're tied up 4-all, 7:30 to go. Rockall looks for a bit of space, finds Alford in the corner. Alford for 3, and that's her first 3 of the game.
And with that set that they've just run with the flare off the weak side ball screen, that's going to free up Alford quite a bit. And if she gets hot, Killester could be in big trouble.
Yeah, she was hot during the cup final as a foul here, and Killester getting Glanmire in a bit of foul trouble early. That's their 3rd team foul in just 3 minutes, so doing a good job of getting to the basket.
And that's where the 5-out really is going to cause Glanmire problems. If they don't get that weak side defense right, they'll I think Killester will cause problems and will space them out, and will get those weak side cuts, and will get those ball side penetrations, and that's what's going to cause them problems. So they got to fix that weak side defense early.
So into Fetchko. Fetchko can't finish it, gets her own rebound, and just nice hustle from Leah Fetchko, gets the ball into the hands of Clark. Emma Sherwood trying to find space, but again, great defense from Glanmire and a shot clock violation.
Fetchko's been quite active early doors here, Matt. You know, she's winning all the loose balls, she's active in the full court, she's gotten the majority of the open looks so far. So it seems quite an important tactic early on that they're going to get her active. Nice little weak side cut by Claire Rockall herself.
Nice pass from Alford. Gets Rockall her first 2 of the game. Just before the game, we saw Claire Rockall presented with the February Player of the Month award. A little bit of miscommunication there as the ball ran loose, but ended up back in the hands, and it's Rebecca Nagel gets Killester's first 3 of the game and cuts it to a 2-point game.
Other than Alford, there's no recognised 3-point shooter on that Glanmire team. If you look at Killester, they've got Mimi Clark and they've got Rebecca Nagel. If they can get the 2 of them hot from that 3-point line, the early damage that they've done with the cutting early doors could be even more.
Great pass from Fetchko, and Sherwood gets on the ball for the first time. Killester, and we're tied early at 9-all.
You know, one of the best athletes on the floor is Emma Sherwood, and if they can find her over the top, again, it's another weapon that they have. And so far, I think Killester have done a better job utilising their weapons than Glanmire have.
Again, we saw that fake on the baseline from Casey Grace, find a bit of space, rebounded, and eventually put in by Grania Dwyer, gets her second basket, and it's 11-9.
You know, Grania Dwyer is just an absolute winner, you know, and I think if she continues to have that little bit of fire that she's had early doors, another little loose ball she's chasing, now it's a 4-on-3. That's 1 foul each on 4 of the 5 starters for Glanmire now.
That'll be 2 shots to Emma Sherwood, who had a good start to the game.
For all Emma's attributes, her length, her athleticism, her ability to defend, to run the floor, finishing and shooting is probably one of her weaker areas. So if she can have one of those nights where she hits them just like right now, I think she could be a game changer for this Killester team.
Yeah, it's been a lot of time injured or unavailable the last year and a half, so Killester's delighted to have her on the floor for this big game. Missed the cup final last year, and there we see the athleticism. She gets a quick steal into the hands of Nagel. Nagel, a nice pass to Byrne. Byrne, short range jumper, and Aveen Byrne gets her first bucket of the game, and Killester take their first lead.
And Killester deserve their lead, I think. I mean, they've been really active on the offensive end. They've been active on the defensive end. Another deflection, and the more deflection they get, the more disruption, and the more, you know, that Glanmire will not be comfortable in their offense.
And Aveen Byrne will check out after scoring that first bucket. And Neve O'Donovan will check in, another player with a lot of energy. As Dwyer looks to drive on Sherwood. And we'll wait to see the fouls called. Actually, I think they've stopped the game before, the scoreboard to the right here has gone off. So I don't think that basket will count. I think they'll go back to the sideline. Paul, good start to the game. Both teams playing relatively well early on.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually been very enjoyable. I think Killester have done what I said before the game. They've cut, they've reversed the ball, they've penetrated, they've found uncontested shots, which is a huge thing when you're running the style of basketball that Killester are doing. With Glanmire, they've run their stuff. They haven't been as efficient as they would like to, but they've still found a way of putting the ball in the basket early doors. And I think Glanmire will get better. And the fact they're only 1 point down, I think, you know, they'll be quite confident they'll find their rhythm at some point.
Katie Keating and Leslie Ann Wilkinson have checked into the game as we have an unofficial timeout here as they try and fix the clock.
I think the big thing for Glanmire right now from an offensive perspective is that they're very bunched, and it's helping the Killester defense to stay a little bit more compact. They don't have to rush out the shots right now. Whereas Killester on the offensive end, they're really spacing outside the 3 right now against Glanmire and causing a lot of driving lanes, cutting lanes. I think if it's just going to be very, very interesting with the 2 conflicting styles on which one will come out on top right now.
So we're almost ready to go. We've got the scoreboard with a time on it, but no scores.
Okay, 12 seconds on the shot clock. Shot allowed for possession for the champions.
So that gave Coach Mark Scanlon just a little bit of time to set up a side out of bounds. Maybe let's just see what they run here now. And again, they run the weak side ball screen.
Wilkinson, first touch of the ball.
Surprised Alford wasn't on that side coming off that ball screen, but
Three goes in and out, but great rebound by Rockall into hands of Keating, but Keating can't finish, and rebounded by Nagel. But she's under pressure from Rockall and Wilkinson, and eventually Rockall, great steal of a good block again from Nagel. And eventually, after going around the world, Claire Rockall gets a 2 to put Glanmire back in the lead.
she's so active on the offensive glass. You know, it's one of her major assets and strengths that she has is that tenaciousness on the offensive glass, and it worked really well right there.
Sherwood, nice inside pass to O'Donovan, but good defense from Keating.
Yeah, Katie Keating is a big body in there, and you know it's going to take a lot more than just cutting to beat her off close to the basket.
Donovan into the hands of Nagel. Shot clock's at 4, have to get it up. And we have a travel call. There's again good defense from Katie Keating. And it'll be UCC Glanmire ball.
Probably the one time you actually agree with the referees when there's a double whistle and they call the same thing. So a bit of full court pressure on Killester right now, and they're just making Glanmire just a little bit more tentative.
Good pass inside to Keating, but she can't finish. Just struggling to get to pace for the game on the offensive end, but doing a good job defensively. And Vetchko is blocked twice in the space of one play by Alford. Alford gets it forward to Rockall, but Killester have good numbers back. Wilkinson open on 3-point line, makes the extra pass. Rockall for 3. Huge shot from Claire Rockall.
You know, we've got a young lady in the States right now, Adele Thornton, heading to the Sweet 16. But what people forget is that Claire Rockall actually played in the Elite 8 with Iowa State. So she's taking over the offensive end right now for this Glanmire team.
Yeah, and we're seeing what Claire can do at both ends of the floor. Very active here in the early going, and a foul is called. I think that's going against Dwyer.
Is that her first or second? So Mark Scannell is letting the referees know that he feels that there's an inconsistent foul count, that Killester have 0 fouls against them while Glanmire have 5.
And would that be just because Glanmire are playing more aggressive style of defense, you're bound to pick up some fouls?
Not necessarily. You know, I mean, a lot of Glanmire's shots they've taken have been either in the open floor, where there's been very little defense around, and they've either taken the 3, which hasn't been contested. So they've been in less being fouled opportunities, whereas Killester have been cutting. They've been forcing Glanmire to move a bit more, which, you know, and they've been reaching on that. So it's, you know, I'm not sure it's a fair assessment right now of what Mark was looking for.
The shot rebounded eventually into the hands of Neve O'Donovan after bouncing around a few other players. Good pass inside to O'Donovan. 3 from Clark, and she turned and ran back as soon as it left her hand.
So that's Rebecca Nagel and Mimi Clark off the mark from the 3-point line now, and Glanmire trying to answer it back from Katie Keating.
Good pass from Vetchko, and Sherwood is fouled by Keating going to the basket, and again Killester showing they're happy to get up and down the floor and attack the basket.
And the interesting thing is that Killester have either struggled to beat the front line of the press, and when they've beaten it, they've gotten some great looks. So if they can beat the front line without being under pressure as much as what they have been early, I think they could really cause problems to the transition defense of Glanmire.
We've been joined in the arena by the Irish under-15 women's squad as the scoreboard has gone off again. Fantastic new arena here in WIT, perfect for basketball.
It's wonderful. I mean, the plenty of room for supporters. You know, it's comfortable, it's bright, it's open. you know, it's a Super League basketball court, and you know, that's where we should have most of our games. But the you know, it's and what it's done is it's because the length and the width and the space is actually provided a very good basketball game that we're witnessing right now.
We've got through the first 2 games with no problems on the scoreboard, but not sure what's happened. If you missed the games so far today, the Women's Division 1 semi-finals, IT Carlow, regular season winners, defeated Ulster Rockets. And in the second semi-final, second versus third, second place UL Huskies were beaten by the third place Marble City Hawks. So Letterkenny next weekend, Sunday 2 p.m. Women's Division 1 playoff final will be ITC Basketball versus Marble City Hawks. The women's final, as you see the fixtures for next weekend, the Women's Super League final will take place at 8 o'clock Saturday night, and that will be surrounded by Men's Champions Trophy semi-finals on Saturday, and the League Cup final and the Champions Trophy final on the Sunday. If you can't make the short trip up the road to Letterkenny, you can watch all the games live on Basketball Island's YouTube channel.
And Emma Sherwood knocks it down to tie the game at 16 apiece. So, Brian Dwyer is off the floor. Let's see where the energy from the interior comes from for this Glanmire team now.
Grace open in the basin, doesn't get it. So it's Rockall in the short corner. Good ball movement from Glanmire. Nowhere to go for Grace. Shot clock at 5. Rockall, fadeaway jumper. Rockall gets the roll, and
right
that's
now
the UCC Glanmire back in the lead.
And right now, Claire Rocco is a one-man show on the offensive end right now. I think what Glanmire have done a really good job of is reversing the ball through the top of the key. And what they've done is they've gotten those weak side options, but they've done a great job of the second penetration into the key. And there's Leanne Wilkinson out in front now and hitting the trailing Alford, who is looking for the 3.
Fetchko again. Up to McDonald, but McDonald is well blocked by Alford. And Grace gets her hands on the ball, and it ends up coming out, and Rockall is 1-on-3. Wisely decides to slow it down. Grace finds Wilkinson open for 3. Doesn't go, rebounded by Keating. But straight away, Killester converge on a 3 for Alford. Doesn't go. Fetchko with a rebound, and up in front of her as O'Donovan decides to get to Sherwood. Sherwood does a good job of creating a bit of space. Doesn't make it, and everyone stops, but the ball didn't in fact go out, and Casey Grace straight back on as we tick under a minute go in this first quarter.
Yeah, and Glanmire have been hit over the top about 6 or 7 times so far in this first quarter, of which Killester have had about 12 points from so far, or gotten someone to the line. And that's something that I think in our basketball community we've actually failed to understand how to read that. And I see week in, week out on the underage level and even at senior level where you just get that beat over the top, and we don't defend the passing lanes as well. And Killester have done a really good job of trying to expose that lack of transition defense from Glanmire tonight.
So under 20 seconds to go. It's Ambassador UCC Glanmire leading Pyrobel Killester 18-16. Inside to Keating. Keating is fouled, and she'll go to the line for 2 shots with 12 seconds to go. Ball coming at the end of this first quarter here. Tight game, 2-point game with a chance to make it 4. We'll take a timeout here, so I'll ask you that question after you come back from the timeout. Back with you shortly. And it all set up, but I kept finding things to do, so I was just sticking random things in there, videos, all kinds of things ready to go.
New haircuts getting destroyed. Matt doesn't worry about hair like.
So welcome back. Again, another slight delay with the clock. I think the battery issue, but should be sorted now as they've got the plugs. Paul, just asking you before the break about who will be the happier of the two coaches as we go into the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, I mentioned about the psychology with Killester over Glanmire. So, you know, I personally think that Carol Kilbride will be the happier coach right now. The fact they're in the game, that they're, you know, that they've competed, that they're within touching distance. You know, when you're playing a top side like Glanmire, who've been so successful the last number of years, staying with a team like that is the key. And I think, in relative terms, I think Carol Kilbride will be very, very happy with the first quarter performance.
So here we go, 2 shots, Katie Keating. As Hannah Thornton, just recently returned from injury last week, has checked into the game for Killester, and another big plus for them having her back. So 12 seconds to go.
And Katie Keating has been quite effective since she came in. She hasn't been quite efficient on the offensive end, but she's been effective and caused problems on both ends. Chopping action from Glanmire caused the turnover.
2.7 seconds to go, so it'll be Glanmire will get the last opportunity of the quarter.
Glanmire possession of 27 seconds.
And that one won't reach the basket. So there you have it. At the end of the first quarter, we were different on the scoreboard, but under my reckon, it's 20-16 to Killester. We'll be back with you shortly. So here we go. Start of the second quarter. Pyrobel Killester the ball into the hands of Leah Pechko. Nagel into Thornton, guarded by Keating. Nice move from Thornton. Doesn't get it, and Keating grabs the rebound.
And that's the first post up that Killester have had. So they might be, with the introduction of Thornton, that might be a little different to the cutting action that they have early on. So we'll see how that works out for them right now.
Grace being guarded by Sherwood. Nice cut from Keating. Keating with a fadeaway, doesn't go. Rebounded by Thornton. And Nagel will slow things down a little bit. She's guarded by Louise Scannell, who's checked into the game. Nagel tries to get that one up and under, but doesn't finish. And Scannell, good cross-court pass to Rockall. Rockall can't finish, and Nagel grabs the rebound and starts the break with Fetchko. And the Killester have 3-on-2. Nice inside pass to Thornton. Thornton can't finish. Fetchko with a floater. Bounced out as well, and Casey Grace cleans up for Glanmire.
You always know how the rims are feeling by how it bounces back, and there must be tight rims here because they're bouncing back quite hard. And there's a bit of 3-4 feet coming back off the slightest of touches, so they're quite tough.
In and out three. Nagel wide open from the top of the key. Doesn't go. And Fetchko does a good job of getting hands on the ball in hands of Thornton. Sherwood, short jumper, and Sherwood gets that one for 2. 20-18.
Yeah, it took a good 1:45 to get the first basket. I think both teams came out a little bit scrappy after the quarter break. Again, Glanmire running their swing offense.
In and out from Grace. And Fetchko gets it into the hands of Sherwood.
That's the one thing that's impressed me with Killester. They've had different ball handlers or playmakers bring the ball up the floor. They're quite comfortable with whoever brings it up, and they're just not taking the pressure from Glanmire. So whoever's getting pressured, they're passing the ball off, and it's been nice to see.
Nagel guarded by Scannell. Drives baseline, nowhere to go. 2 seconds the shot clock in hands of Sherwood. Sherwood blocked by Grace. And Glanmire this time have a 3-on-2. Pass from Rockall to Scannell, and Scannell gets her first 2 of the game and extends the lead to 22-18.
And that last 5-out cut there, Rebecca Nagel had a nice little drive, and Hannah Thornton came right across her lane on the drive to the block when she could have stayed on the weak side block to get a little bounce pass.
Nagel inside to Thornton. Thornton tries to clear a bit of space but shuffles her feet. And as Louise Scannell and Katie Keating check out for Glanmire, McKenna and Dwyer check back in. Actually, it's Rockall and Keating that check out. And also, Avine Byrne will come back in for Anna Thornton. So both teams using their benches, and both benches been fairly effective in the first quarter and a bit.
Well, it's interesting, Carl, because I was just about to say that, since Hannah Thornton came in, the fluency of the Killester offense hasn't been there. And with her being out so long with an injury, her timing is off on the cutting and the actions that the 5-out causes. So nice little substitution from Carl.
Good pass from Dwyer to McKenna. McKenna on to Grace. Grace can't make the jump shot, and maybe Clark from the pass from Nagel. Clark shows good pace to get by McKenna, but doesn't make the shot, and Fetchko grabs the rebound and will give Killester another go. Sherwood managed to get the ball, and Fetchko with a nice fake. Should have gone up on the near side as she got Grace up in the air, and Grace able to come back into it. Scannell looks to drive. Nice pass to Dwyer, and a charge called. And is that her 3rd foul?
I'm thinking it's our 3rd.
It's a bit of full court pressure again from Glanmire. We'll wait to see. And Chantal Orford is getting off the bench, so
that is her 3rd. That is her 3rd.
A clash at mid-court has sent Rebecca Nagel to the floor, so we'll have a quick stop. Didn't quite see what happened there. So, Paul, we've seen Gwania Dwyer.
Is rested. Chantal Orford comes back.
Multiple time finals MVP, frustrated going to the bench there, but on 3 fouls, surely the right call to take her out.
I'm even surprised she got back in the game, to be honest, because they're in the lead. There's 6 minutes left. I usually follow the rule. If you're on 2, you come out. And unless you're majorly down, that's the only way you'd come back in the game. So I'm surprised she came back in the game.
I don't follow that rule at all myself. Complete opposite. Go on 2, sit out for a bit and get back in the first half. You should be able to play without fouling. But when you pick up that 3rd, it it makes sense.
Well,
But
see, if you play without foul, yeah, she didn't go out there to get the offensive. She's just out of control. So I mean, you can pick it up at any point. So again, that's a philosophy. That's why basketball is great, because everybody has different ideas on how things should be done, and that's if we all did the same, it'd be quite boring. So no, it's been a good game so far. Second quarter hasn't been as good as the first. Fluency of both teams hasn't quite been there. I think it's 2-2 in the second quarter.
yeah, could be 2016 at the end of the quarter. So teams struggling to score. And Lenihan.
So again,
first bucket of the game.
I mean, that full court press with 3 people now by Glanmire, and you can certainly do that with Louise Scannell, Hayley Lenihan, and Anya McKenna on the floor. 3 very, very good defensive athletes. When you do that, you're leaving yourself exposed on the weak side, and that's what's happened right now.
Nice curl from Clark, can't finish, but Byrne puts in the rebound. It's the first 6 point of the game. Lenihan uses the screen and roll, but good defense from Killester. McKenna drives down the lane, left hand off the glass. That one bounces out again. And Killester will have a chance to cut it to 1. Good defense from Alford. And this time it's Glanmire on the break. And this time all the way to the basket, Anya McKenna. She's going to sight it with her left hand on the first time round and finish with the right hand this time as Fetchko fumbles the ball but gets it back.
They must have heard me. It's cranked up the scoring, and all of a sudden. But I said that early doors that Emma Sherwood is not as good in all as she is at every other asset. Her decision making is decent. Her defensive ability is decent. Her finishing is not the best in the world, and that's something she's going to have to do. He's already missed about 4 or 5 layups that could really have Killester in the lead if she had made them. So if she's going to be taking that many shots, she's got to be in a position to finish it.
Well, timeout here, 4:41 to go. It's Ambassador UCC Glanmire leading 25-20.
Well, which way will they be coming from? Because I'll be at Ashburn.
So welcome back, 4:38 to go. Second quarter of this Women's Super League playoff semi-final. Anya McKenna for Glanmire for 3. Doesn't go. Rebound, Leah Fetchko. Glanmire leading Pyrobel Killester 25-20. Zavine Byrne finds some space in the baseline. 3 is blocked by Alford. As Quiver Moore just got off in time, but rebounded Sherwood. And again, Paul, you talked about Emma Sherwood. Another chance there from close range. Goes astray as Louise Scannell puts the ball on the floor, drives into the middle of the key. And rebounded Sherwood.
Yeah, both teams have been running a lot of subs, and I think it's hurt the fluency of both teams right now. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how they I think foul trouble has caused a little bit. Maybe Killester's constant movement, maybe a bit of fatigue. Both teams have gone deep in their bench now. Nice little cut by Mimi Clark, just a little bit too far. But yeah, I think both teams might be just waiting for the last 2 minutes, and they might get their big hitters in just to get a bit more fluency to end the game. It's one run away from Glanmire, I think, from really potentially finishing this game off, because Killester aren't making the most of their opportunities. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Killester have had a good few opportunities in this half you talked about. Haven't been able to do it with good defense from Sherwood. And here is another opportunity, and foul by Scannell.
She's so good in the open floor, you know, her defense. She's one of the few players, I think, in the women's league that has the ability to turn her defense into offense instantly, and that ability to transition quickly from defense to offense is a huge skill. You know, she brings so many other attributes, and she could just increase her finishing ability. I think she could be one of the top players in the league. I really, really like her.
So Leah Fetchko being guarded by Anya McKenna. Moore back to Clark with no space there as Glanmire's defense, the shot clock clicks down to 10.
Nice shot fake and go.
Good
nice
move
shot
from
fake and go.
Anya McDonald, and she gets her first bucket of the game. And it's now 25 to 22.
You know, I think Casey Grace really needs to give Glanmire a little bit more. She's an experienced, you know, player at this point. You know, she hasn't contributed a whole lot. You know, she's missed a couple of those mid-range jumpers. You know, with grinding the wire out on the subs bench, she needs to give that a little bit more right now, I think, than what she's giving at the moment.
And into the game for the first time comes Annalise Murphy.
And watch this young girl go. Watch this young girl go here now. Don't be fooled by her size. This girl is going to have a massive impact in the game, I think.
Clark drives down the middle, left hand, and fouled by McKenna. There'll be 2 shots and a chance to pull Pyrobel Killester to within 1.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Mimi Clark right now, other than the 3-pointer she hit just towards the end of this first quarter. She's a good shooter, and the one thing when you're a shooter, you want stuff run for you. And with the 5-out, they've been really, really good so far, but they haven't run a lot for Mimi Clark. And I think maybe a weak side pin down or a baseline stagger or something like that, or even coming off a handoff just for a pick a pop might just get her going a little bit more. And I think if they can get her going, it'll free up other drivers, other driving lanes for other people.
And Mimi makes one, misses one. It's a 2-point game, 2:30 to go. And Carl Kilbride, I'm sure, will still be delighted with the score at the moment as it is. He's in touch, is what you talked about earlier, as Alford makes 2.
Yeah, and he, you know, he knows that they're getting opportunities. I think the message will be, we got to finish the chippies, we got to finish the easy stuff, and if they finish the easy stuff, they'll go to the wire with this. But you just fear for them that the powerhouse of Glanmire and the ability to know how to win, which is huge. There's a great decision again by Emma Sherwood. Great pass fake. Finally, she gets a layup on the board.
Great finish from Sherwood. That's a 6-point. The game is a 2-point game, 1:43 to go. So we have a tight game here, 1 versus 4, of course, at the end of the regular season. Both teams vying for a chance to get to the playoff finals and lift the silverware at the end of the season. Rebound Fetchko, and again, 3-on-1. Good defense from Annalise Murphy, though, just slows things down.
I don't know when last Glanmire took a layup. Everything's been a 5-foot shot or a 3 or higher. I don't know when they've last taken a layup, which is a huge compliment to Killester's defense.
Good defense from Grace, gets the block, and Rebecca Nagel has checked back in. And also Anya McKenna checks out, and she's replaced by Hannah McCarthy. Her sister got to Division 1 final with ITC basketball this morning. A short shot missed as McCarthy does a great job of getting on the floor for that rebound.
Foul called?
She's a bang on the back for her first contribution of the game, but a good one as a timeout is called from Glanmire with 1:06 to go in the first half. It's Ambassador UCC Glanmire 27, Pyrobel Killester 25. So here we go. A minute to go. Annalise Murphy with the ball for Glanmire.
Nice elevator set from Glanmire to start off. See if they got Alfred going, but instead they get Casey Grace.
And Grace is fouled going to the basket. She'll go to the line for 2 shots.
Blocking foul, Emma Shelley. Substitution.
Yeah, it was a nice little set there by Glanmire. Alfred was being chased and they just ran out through the elevator and closed the doors and made a good decision to reverse it, and Casey Grace got down the lane and to get fouled. So nice little set right there.
And interesting enough, as Casey Grace knocks down the free throw. It's such a big game, Paul. Both coaches have already put on every single play they've got. 11 for Glanmire, and 9 of the Killester players are already on the bench.
Yeah, late in the season, maybe they're just waiting for the, tired legs, waiting for the end to kick on a little bit. But I think both coaches have done a really good job in keeping their teams in distance of each other, albeit Glanmire just slightly in the front.
Wrap around from Byrne, doesn't go. Good rebound from Thornton. Both Killester inside players on now. As the shot clock goes and just tips off Casey Grace, so they'll have another 14 seconds, 25 seconds on the game clock. 28-25 to Glanmire. So referees just have a quick discussion.
Possession, Pyrobel Killester. 14-second shot clock.
Travel called.
Yeah, stationary
On
1-2,
Thornton.
not allowed. She had the 2 steps, but off a stationary, ain't allowed.
Just under 24 seconds.
So 23.6 seconds to go as Mark Scanlon calls a timeout. Drop the final play of the half. It's 28-25. So 23 seconds on the clock. Final play of the half for Glanmire, they would hope.
Yeah, they'll be looking to get the shot off about 2 seconds, maybe 3, just in case they get an offensive rebound. That's way too early. Mark Scanlon would not have wanted that, but I think what Carl Kilbride did a great job of was putting the press on to not allow them run their set and force them into a false lull.
And Clark
Great coaching by Carl
punishes
Kilbride.
that by getting all the way to the basket, gets the last basket of the quarter. So at the end of the first half of basketball, it's Ambassador UCC Glanmire leading Pyrobel Killester 28-27. We'll leave you with a short advert for Basketball Lions National Camp. All information available on basketballions.ie. And join us again for the second half in about 10 minutes' time. So welcome back here, just underway in the third quarter of the first of the Women's Super League semi-finals. And Paul, 1 point game at the end of the first half. Talked a good bit about the different styles during the first half of the game. Did you expect to see anything different in the second half from either team?
No, I think Carol Kilbride will be very, very happy how they've performed, how they've executed. As I said before, I think what he'll definitely look for is better execution to finish. And maybe missed that layup earlier on just there now, just to go out of bounds. But what they have to do is stop this girl here in the open floor. You know, for the few minutes that she had in the first quarter, she was very effective growing you. So they got to find a way of stopping. And finally, Casey Grace gets on the score sheet, and which is what we challenged her at the half to do.
Grace opens the scoring in this second half. Glanmire, captain zone, 3 from Clark, doesn't go. And Dwyer, a bit cold after not playing too many minutes in the first half. Bounced the ball over her foot, and Fetchko set things up. Nagel finds a bit of space. Clark had a sighter last time down, and this time makes no mistake with 3 from Michelle Clark.
Second of the game, Matt. Second of the game.
We're tied at 30.
The lower the score this stays, I think it favours Killester more. Nice weak side help defence by Killester.
Good rebound, Sherwood into the hands of Nagel. Nagel finds Clark. It's guarded by McKenna. And Sherwood finds the cut in Nagel in the corner. A misplaced pass from Nagel, looking for Byrne, but was well off. Ball slipped out of her hands, and McKenna tries to find Rockhall up the court, but not enough space. And a little bit scrappy at the moment offensively from Glanmire, just struggling. You talked in about a low score suiting Killester, and Glanmire will want to play the up and down kind of game. Yeah,
they started off the very same in the first half, so they don't seem to be making many adjustments right now. You know, they've left again another cut and another open shot in the short corner for Killester. So they've done a great job actually, Killester, of getting the ball at the middle of the defense, whether it be zone or man, to get reversal through that spot to the weak side.
McKenna fakes the shot, finds Rockhall. Not much space inside, and again Dwyer off her foot, and things just not quite working out for her so far. And 7:30 to go, tied game. And Pyrobel Killester with a chance to take the lead on this possession.
So again, another cut to the ball side, another weak side cut by Kutchko.
Clark, Sherwood finds space on the wing. Nagel finds Michelle Clark, made her last one. Shot clock ticking down. The shot goes up and in and out. And we're tied at 30 still. Sure, Coach Carl Kilbride would love to get his nose in front here, just to unsettle Glanmire a bit. Very experienced team, Glanmire's. Rockhall, beautiful basket from Rockhall off the glass, and she's fouled, and we'll go to the free throw line with a chance to add another point.
Yeah, Glanmire ran that block-to-block up screen a lot in the first half and got very, very little off it. And that time Claire just curled off it and got that little bit looking nice little pull-up finish off the glass.
So Claire Rockhall has been the most productive offensive player for Ambassador UCC Glanmire today, and she adds to her tally.
And this is where Glanmire have the edge. They haven't gotten many shots, but the shots they have, they've pretty much made. Killester, I think, would, if you look at the stats, might probably have a hell of a lot more shots, but haven't been as efficient in their finishing. Lovely cut again by Mimi Clark.
Great basketball from Killester. Michelle Clark off the Emma Sherwood pass. McKenna inside off, but great defense from Fetchko. Stepped on the line there, but great hustle.
I think Emma Sherwood has been wonderful. I mean, that was another nice little pass to find the cutter again. She's been effective defensively. Other than her finishing, I mean, if she had finished, she could be hitting near a double-double. She's rebounded, she's passed, she's been on the open floor. Might be the best player on the floor outside the scoring in the game so far.
And just over the last year and a half, Killester in the cup final didn't quite perform, but as the ball is goes back court from Walker, and you're right, Sherwood just brings along that little bit of athleticism that Killester missed the last 2-3 years. They've always had the shooting and good ball movement, good cutting, but she's brought a little bit of athleticism that they perhaps haven't had.
And if I Mimi, that's an early look, and she's nailed it.
Clark has 3 threes in the game, and Coach Mark Scannell will know from the international team you can't afford to leave Clark open. She had an excellent season, excellent international summer last year with the Irish team as she gets a steal, and it's Killester up 2 with a chance to extend that lead and put a bit of pressure on Glanmire, but steal from Dwyer. She has Rockall with her, finds Rockall, and Rockall finishes and ties the game. 14 points for Claire Rockall.
Yeah, she's been wonderful in the open floor again, the offensive rebound. She's been by far Glanmire's best player so far tonight.
Fetchko finds Nagel in the corner for 2 this time, and fantastic shooting from Killester continues in the second half. She just put the toes on the line.
That's a bad 2. I mean, that's stuff that as coaches and as a shooter she should be better positioned for that. A lovely jump stop into her stride, lovely balance, but that toe on the line, not a good shot to take.
Grace looking for somewhere to go, finds Dwyer. Dwyer puts the ball on the floor, nice spin move, finds Alford open for 3. And Chantal Alford, to the delight of the Glanmire bench, makes a 3 and puts the cup champions and defending league champions back in the lead by 1.
Yeah, we've got our first quarter tempo back again, Matt. Much more enjoyable game in the second quarter.
Good defense from Dwyer, gets a good stand. And Fetchko gets the offensive rebound. The shot clock reset. I'm not sure that hit the ring, did it? I see the table are trying to stop the game as they reset it accidentally. Ball definitely didn't hit the ring, so the referees will just discuss it here with the table.
A little lecture here from the referee. Shot clock violation.
Yeah, and it was a shot clock violation called. Good call from the referees. I think it was well over the time it was reset when there was only a couple of seconds left on the clock. Coach Kilbride is arguing the toss down there, but I think you can't really, it will frustrate any coach, but it missed the ring and it would have gone off otherwise.
Yeah, as someone who knows how to complain about a couple of things, that's the one where you just know you got away with one, you just got to accept that one. I think the referees made a very good call right there. They explained it and you got to accept it and move on. It's the ones that don't explain, don't know why they make calls, they're the ones that can frustrate you.
Dwyer, top of the key, looking inside for Rockall. Good defense from Killester. Rockall, fake, excellent defense from Aveen Byrne. Quick feet, gets in front of Rockall and takes the charge.
I tell you what now, there's been... Grania Dwyer did just as good of a job defensively a while ago and didn't fall on the floor, and I thought that was not offensive. She didn't sell it well enough. Aveen sold that one right there. So I think the referees, I think Grania could be unjustly done the last one.
I think that's, as Aveen Byrne can't finish inside, that's a part of sport that always baffles everyone, same as in soccer. If you go down, it's a penalty. If you try and stay on your feet after getting kicked, it's not a penalty. And similar wise,
yeah, I think so.
You get hit with a charge, unless you hit the floor, 9 times out of 10 you don't get the call.
What was interesting there, that's the first set that Killester ran all day, and it was the same set that Glanmire ran the whole game. So, and they nearly got him on it actually with the weak side ducking from Aveen.
Dwyer, top of the key, finds a bit of space. Foul called.
Double whistle, must be the right call.
End line ball, Glanmire, 3:38 to go. Ambassador UCC Glanmire leading Pyrobel Killester by a point. Both teams trying to get to the playoff finals in Letterkenny next weekend. 8 p.m. tip-off for the Women's Super League playoff final. Live on Basketball Island's YouTube channel. If you can't get to Letterkenny, Dwyer, long 2, doesn't go. Rebounded Rockall, shot clock on 4, but it's turned over as McDonald gets it into the hands of Nagel and then Fetchko. There's McDonald to Nagel on the 3-point line, closely guarded by McKenna to the cut in Fetchko. And here, Glanmire have numbers, 4 and 2 into the hands of Dwyer into Grace. Grace finds
That's a
Rockall inside with a
lovely,
fantastic finish.
lovely channel cut by Claire Rockall, lovely little dump in. But that's the difference. Glanmire haven't taken as many shots as Killester and finished everything, whereas Killester have done a poor job finishing. And there she is, she stood behind.
Becca Nagel, obviously listened to there, pulls up from deep.
I think
ties the game at 40.
I think they should just shoot threes. They're not making layups, just shoot threes. That was deep. That was Steph Curry range right there.
Alford answered last time, can't this time, but was fouled. By Anya McDonald, I believe. Not sure if it's in the act of shooting or after shooting. It's in the act of shooting, so it's going to be 3 shots.
That's a tough call to take. That's a tough call to take now.
Sherwood and Clark will check back in. And Nagel and Moore will take a rest. So 3 shots for Chantal Orford with a chance to put UCC Glanmire back in the lead.
I expect all 3 to win here.
And Alford obliges, knocks down all 3, 3-point lead, 2:30 to go, 3rd quarter.
That's twice now Alford has replied with 3 points in 2 different ways.
Yeah, when they desperately needed a basket, when Killester had got themselves in lead, and Dwyer offensively is not having the greatest game, but starting to get her hands on the ball a little bit more, but turns over a little bit again there, and into the hands of Sherwood. So a slow start to the second half. Clark hasn't had a slow start.
Wonderful cut.
Byrne, corner, jump shot. She makes a short corner jump shot. It's a 1-point game.
That's actually a wonderful basketball by Killester again. She got a great cut, fumbled it, re-got it, and kicked it to the long corner or short corner for a nice little jumper. Killester plays some really, really nice basketball now, have to say. Did a great job staying in this game against the league champions, or against the regular season champions and cup champions.
Grace, good defense from McDonald, but Grace goes after a shot, puts it in, she's fouled. She'll go to the line with a chance for a 3-point play. A 3-point lead. And at the moment, Paul, Glanmire just doing enough to keep Killester at bay. Killester playing well, keeping in the game, but Glanmire are just keeping their noses in front at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the Glanmire will, you know, if the game finished right now in the state like this, I think Mark Salmon would be the first to say that Glanmire have not been at their best, and they haven't been. But you know what? This is why they're good. This is why they're more than good. They find a way. They find a way, and that's what winners do, and that's what, you know, winning does. It gives you the confidence to find a way.
We talked about the mental side earlier on, so obviously every coach wants to be in the lead, but really important, I suppose, is it for Coach Kilbride and his team to try and get a lead going in as Clark nails a 3rd 3 of this quarter.
I actually don't think there's a whole lot Claire could have done. That was a wonderful close-up by Claire. It was just an even better shot by Mimi Clark.
As Dwyer goes to the basket and is fouled. And again, it's Glanmire just doing enough. Killester, huge 3. Clark to 16 points.
This Killester team is such a young team, and you know, Glanmire have been through the mill. They know how to score and get a stop. And right now, Killester have to learn how to get a score and make a stop the next play. If they can do that, I think they can stay in this game, but they haven't learned how to get that stop yet. Every time they've hit a huge shot, they've given up just as much on the other end, either 3 shots, a 3-point play, or a 2-and-1. So they haven't done enough after they've made a big score to get a stop themselves.
Yeah, 3 in a row being returned with 3 points inside. McDonald, fantastic finish inside from McDonald with a left hand under pressure from Dwyer.
Now let's see if they can get a stop. If they can get the stop, they're still in this game. If they don't, I think the game's going to run away from them.
Alford fakes 3. Chantal Alford for the 3rd consecutive time, but under pressure makes a 3 or is fouled.
So 11 points by Killester, 12 answered back right away by Glanmire. And their defence has gone up a notch now, Glanmire.
Fetch go down the lane, doesn't go, rebound Orford, 8 seconds on the clock. 5-point lead, Glanmire. McKenna pulls up,
Danger time.
gets it to Grace, and Casey Grace is foul. 1.3 seconds to go in this third quarter. She'll go to the line as Coach Kilbride showed his frustration there, and it's a 5-point lead for Glanmire, and Killester, as well as they played, just can't quite keep parity at the moment. But
9-point total, Casey Grace.
Grace knocks down both, so 1.3 seconds to go. Fetch go, steal by
That's what top teams do.
Rockall.
They know when to pounce, and Glanmire have done a great job in pouncing.
So the end of the third quarter, it's Ambassador UCC Glanmire 54, Pyrobel Killester 47. So welcome back, we're underway here. Final quarter. Out of bounds, Killester and Paul. So both coaches have a chance talking out after that third quarter. Killester in particular trailing here. What will Carl Kilbride have been talking to about with his team?
More of the transition defence and tightening up. They've done a wonderful job up in the middle of that quarter with the weak side defence and the whole game. They've loosened their defence. They've got looser offensively and they've also got looser defensively. And they've got to learn to tighten that up.
Grace Alford. She made 3 or 2 of the man in it. Got foul on the other, but can't in the third quarter, but can't make that one. But she was applied by Michelle Clark, who made 3 threes of her own. But after a good quarter from Killester, it's still Glanmire that have extended their lead here. Good defense from Dwyer, gets tip on the ball from Sherwood, and Sherwood, Paul, we talked about how impressive as Dwyer takes a 2 off the dribble, doesn't go, great rebound, Rockall, great pass inside to Grace, and Grace is fouled and 1.
Glanmire smell blood now. They absolutely smell blood. It wouldn't surprise me if they win this game by 20 plus right now.
I was just going to ask you there, we talked about Emma Sherwood, how impressive she was in that first half, but just in that third quarter, although Killester had a good quarter shooting-wise, the athleticism and the speed of Sherwood was a little bit quieter in that corner.
She made a turnover early in the third quarter, and I think that affected the rest of the game. It was the first time she actually made a mistake the whole game with decision making. I think that affected her, and that's, you know, she's been so good. And sometimes when you make no mistake and you finally make one, it can hurt a lot. That's a lovely back door again. Lovely little ball screen to a back door by Killester.
There was Sherwood. She does get her hands on the ball. And Sherwood Offensive foul by Donovan on Dwyer.
Yeah,
And on the opposite end, you talked about first half, Casey Grace having a quiet first half, but second half, she'd been really impressive. Couple of and ones, a couple of putbacks and close to double figures.
Yeah, she's just been more assertive. She's asserted herself more in the game. And I think the difference, if you look at Glanmire, they got looser offensively. They became much more efficient, but they also became more efficient on the defensive end. Killester became looser and not as efficient on the offensive end, and it affected their defense didn't become as efficient. There's Emma Sherwood again.
Sherwood, great steal. Misses the layup. And that's costly when you're down 10. You've got to finish those. And here come Glanmire, Alford from the corner to punish them. Doesn't go. Sherwood with the rebound. And Killester don't want it to get any bigger than 10. It's 10 at the moment. Clark with a 3. Michelle Clark continues to drain the big 3-point shots.
Well, they need to get Nagel and Mimi on one side now. If they get them going, so what? Fetchco has been wonderful, and Aveen has battled hard inside with Brian Dwyer all night. So I think they're still in this game. Still in this game. I know they said they could lose by 20, but that just gives them a little bit of hope.
McKenna doesn't get it. Rebounded Grace again. Grace has been hugely impressive in this second half. Another 2 off a missed shot. And Glanmire back up 9.
And again, another score off and made 3 from Killester. They get to 3 and then they give up an easy bucket on the other end.
Clark, nice curl. Up
nice
and under.
footwork.
Can't finish. Michelle Clark into the 20s now. Slow down from Rockall. 7:17 to go.
Lovely cut by
nice
Casey.
Cut from Grace. Gets her own rebounds, doesn't finish, gets another rebound and tipped off Clark. And we'll have a timeout here for Killester. Coach Carl Gilbride wants to talk it over as they trail 59-50. So welcome back, 7:10 to go. Ambassador UCC leading Pyrobel Killester by 9, 59-50. Dwyer to Lenihan. McKenna down the lane, doesn't go, gets own rebound, goes back up. And McKenna with 2 off the glass, the left hand, and Paul, noticeable that we talked about the amount of subs in the first half, but been reined in a little bit, and Hayley Lenihan is the first player off the bench in the whole of this second half for Glanmire. Is that just a case of putting on your experienced winners?
Yeah, he Mark's got the timing right. They weren't playing well, and he kind of rotated, see people find their feet. But and the worrying thing for Killester is that they rebound the ball so well. They've given up 3 offensive rebounds for the last 6 points. So the winner's on the floor now, and this is where Groen, yep, there we no.
Fetchco with a rebound from this shot from Dwyer. 6:16 to go. Clark's had the hot hand here in the second half and for most of the game. Nagel all the way to the basket, doesn't get it. Rebound Thornton. Good body from Thornton, but after clearing a little bit of space for herself, can't finish, and probably a little bit of rustiness, having been out for so long. But it will be Glanmire ball, offensive foul. How much of an advantage is it for Glanmire? They're going for their 4th playoff win it in a row this year, along with 3 cups in a row, to have those people that have won multiple times on the floor as opposed to Killester that are trying to get over the line for their first big trophy.
Well, I think you know what works in tight situations. You get that experience of knowing how to execute in game scenarios where the game is tight, even against teams that you perceive not to be in the same realm as you. So I think that's the one thing that this Glanmire team have done. They know they haven't played well, but all through the game, they've found a way. They found the one to go to get the easy buckets and stuff like that. So, and now when they're beginning to find a bit of fluency late in the game, you can see that they're in full flow, but they've hung around, so they haven't had to worry about trying to get back in the game. So that's what winning does. That's what experience does. I mean, you look at all the good teams, the Limericks, when they went that 5-year run, and even in the men's side, you see, they just know how to get the win, even when they're playing against teams that are close to them when they shouldn't be in one respect.
And still plenty of time left. 10-point, make that 11-point lead for Glanmire. Killester not out of it yet, but when Coach Kilbride looks back on the game, will he just look at some of those missed chances of Killester playing really well? Those chippies you talked about earlier when the game was tied, or they're up 1 or 2, that could have put them up 8, 9, 10 and really put the pressure on Glanmire. Yeah,
I think it's the easy chippies, the ones that they had semi-contested layups, a couple of open floor ones where they were 2v1s or even 1-on-0s, which happened in the second half. I think they're the ones that he look at, but they've done a wonderful job of getting into positions. The problem is they're just the final score of it.
Again, pass just goes astray there, and it'll be Glanmire ball as a full court zone press comes on from Killester.
Yep, the 1-2-2 will be interesting to see whether it's a slow down one or whether they're going for a trap. Fetchco running from side to side, so they've gotten the trap. Nice weak side defense from Aveen. Now Glanmire reverse the ball to find Haley Lenihan. And that's the type. There you go. You got a young girl with Glanmire taking the same type of shot that Killester been missing the whole game. So if that was Growing or Clare, would they have really taken that shot? Would they have dribbled it back out to get some reverse on it? And that's learning. That's where the learning comes in.
Good defense from Byrne. Backdoor cut from Clark. Blocked from Grace. Good cut though, and Clark gets a hand on the ball. But Alford strong enough to keep hold of it. So under 5 minutes to go, still 11-point lead now. Foul from Nagel. And that will be team fouls. So
to be honest, this is the time Killester need to go now. They need to make a push. They need to probably start taking a few more gambles. Maybe playing a little bit higher in the passing lanes. Glanmire haven't had a whole lot of backdoors in the game, so you'd suggest is that part of what they do? So you need to take a gamble on it right now. And if they do, I think, and you saw what Emma Sherwood earlier, she took a gamble on it and she got an open floor, just missed a layup on it. So, but it's go to now. I mean, this is going. If Glanmire makes this is going to go to 13. And you'd have to say it's going to be difficult unless they really put a bit more pressure and try and force Glanmire into a few mistakes.
Dwyer gets to 11th point of the game. Byrne tries to find a bit of space, finds Fetchco. Nowhere to go there, into the hands of Clark.
Shot going up.
Deep 3 from Clark. Under a lot of pressure that time.
Well, it's probably the first bad shot Killester taken all night. It was the first time they ever got ball movements from side to side, or got a cut in that. So it's not hard to see that was the first bad shot that they took.
Don't forget, still to come, tipping up at 7:30. League runners up and National Cup final runners up. Courtyard Liffey Celtics will take on last year's regular season winners DCU Mercy. As 3 from Rockhall.
Now you look at, we'll come back to that in a second, but you look at that shot right there compared to Haley Lenihan's a few seconds earlier ago. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Timeout taken, it's 68-52. So 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, we just spoke about that there, you know, in terms of that decision that Claire Rockall did. The previous possession before, Hayley Lenihan went 1-on-1 in a bad situation. Claire recognised that she wasn't going to beat Aveen in the 1v1, so she stopped, pulled it back out, replaced herself on the 3-point line, and found herself in a much better uncontested shot. And that's experience. That's knowing how to play the game and time and score, which is a big thing that we need to do a better job of in as a whole, men and women's side in this country. Thing is knowing time and score.
No problem. Olympic draft takes a total of 23 points. Again, one heck of a shoot.
And a huge game from Clark. She goes to 23 points, make that 24 points. Paul, Mimi, very impressive day. Kept Killester in the game a little bit. If they could have created maybe a few more threes for her. Rebecca Nagel hit a couple early on, and you talked about it early, that being the key for Killester, but maybe not being able to create enough shots for the two of them.
Yeah, I think that's one thing, you know, as this group evolves. I think this group is going to be together for a long time with Killester. I think they'll evolve as a team. Carca Bride will evolve as a coach. I think they're going to be a unit to be reckoned with in the next number of years.
Still not dead and buried yet. 14-point game, but Killester need to make scores and make scores quickly as Clark goes back door. But good job from Lenihan. Rebound Alford. And again, Chantal Alford this year and last year just does her thing, runs the offense for Glanmire, and when they need big threes, she's there to make them.
Well, she had 4 3-point plays every single time after Killester had made the 3-point play. So, you know, big time player, with big possessions.
Again, great backdoor cut from Rockall. She'll go to the line for 2 shots. Claire Rockall's 19th point of the game. She scored every different type of basket, going to the basket, rebounds, threes, as we often see from Claire. This is why she was February's Player of the Month.
Yeah, she was wonderful. She kept them in the game when everything else was struggling. It's a tough back screen there.
Byrne inside. Nagel finds a bit of space down the middle of the key. Nice footwork from Nagel. A nice touch off the glass.
A few more of those little deft touches from Killester. I think this game could be a hell of a lot different.
Alford misplaced that pass right into the hands of Sherwood. Sherwood finds Fetchko for 3 in a corner. That one's going to bounce out.
I think if Emma Sherwood had a bit more confidence in her finishing, she'd have actually taken that in the 1v1.
And again, Sherwood does a great job of getting back, stealing the ball, but this time knocks out of bounds. And interesting and noticeable enough, good decision from Glanmire on there. Sherwood had the ball in the middle. No one left Mimi Clark, and they allowed Fetchko to take an open 3. Again, that experience you talked about earlier, knowing which one to stay with and which one to give up.
Yep. Time up by Glanmire, probably looking for the killer score right now, so we'll see what they drop in the timeout.
So welcome back, 2:30 to go. Don't forget, still to come, 7:30 tip-off live on the stream. Courtyard Liffey Celtics versus DCU Mercy. Stay with us for that one. We'll take a short break after this before coming back as Rockall baseline jump shot. Claire again, another fantastic 2.
Yeah, they did a great job of keeping it compact, spaced out to the 3-point line, created driving lanes. Killester sank in and they found her in the short corner with a nice pass from Brian Dwyer.
Just late in the second quarter, in the third quarter, and in this fourth quarter, Ambassador UCC Glanmire really showed what has made them the most dominant team in the last couple of years. Sherwood, guarded by Dwyer. And again, Alford is giving Mimi Clark no space whatsoever in there. Sherwood inside, fall away jumper doesn't go. Good use of the body by Fetchko. Keeps Rockall off the boards and puts it back in for 2. And a bit of full court pressure nearly creates a turnover. But it will remain Glanmire ball, 1:49 to go. 14-point lead. Is this too much now for Killester to try and fight back from?
Well, it's March Madness. We've seen a bunch of comebacks so far this year in the NCAAs. Why can't our own BI force to come back? That's 3 deflections now. Then they're a couple of seconds off the clock. They got a couple of quick scores here now. Here we go, timeout. Nice use of the timeout by Mark Scannell.
So welcome back, 1:47 to go. Dwyer with the ball. Good hands from Killester creating the steal. Fetchko looking for Clark, but just managed to miss her. And into the hands of Chantal Orford.
Yeah, I think Killester needed to really punish Glanmire off that, and they didn't have any chance. I think this game is done and dusted now.
Dwyer, long 2. Doesn't go. Gets her own rebound. Finds Orford on 3-point line. Rockall corner foot, open end of the basket, but not seen as the shot clock's on 7, 6. Orford puts the ball on the floor all the way to the basket. Left hand, the glass doesn't go. And Sherwood finds Fetchko, who finds Nagel on the 3-point line. Nagel will launch that, doesn't go. And well tipped out of bounds from Grace. Actually, it came off Byrne last of all. So 50 seconds to go, Paul. Killester showed good fight, win the game for a long time, threatened to upset the regular season champions, but in the end, Glanmire just a little bit too strong.
Yeah, if you ask me my honest opinion, I think Killester played the better basketball. I just think Glanmire played a more efficient basketball. And you know, you look at it and people will say, well, that's the name of the game, and it is. But I think a couple of chippies from Killester, and I think this would have been a very good game. And there you go, Hirako with her 6th offensive rebound of the game, I think. But I think Killester would be very, very happy with their performance. They know that if they continue with this performance, they'll be in the mix come next year again, and I think they'll evolve year on year.
Byrne just finishes the game as they did in the game, missing those little ones. And you get the feeling that Killester needed to get an early lead or a lead during the game when they had their chance. So as the players clap hands and the clock expires, into the final goes Ambassador UCC Glanmire. They've defeated Pyrobel Killester 72-58. And they will be playing in the league final next weekend, Letterkenny, 8 p.m. tip-off on the Saturday night. But don't forget tonight, stay with us for the second of the women's Super League semi-finals. It'll be Courtyard Liffey Celtics versus DCU Mercy. That will tip off at 7:30, so stay with us. We'll be back for that one. Paul, you'll be back for that one, and thanks for joining us for this game.
Thank you.